Hi, in this session we're going to cover how to install and deploy DX RESTMon. The latest release of DX RESTMon can be deployed as a container on Linux or it can be deployed using Helm Charts. In this session we will cover this second option and demo and explain how we can get DX RESTMon up and running as a pod in an OpenShift cluster. As a first step, we need to download the DX RESTMon package from support.broadcom.com and extract it in the target machine where we want to install it. Once it has been extracted, the folder structure will look like this. This is the file that we have downloaded from support. Right here we have the Docker image that we need to preload in the box where we're going to run it. And if it is an OpenShift or Kubernetes cluster, we can just load the image in every worker node of the cluster or make it available through a registry. And we have two folders here. One is Docker that contains the Docker compose file to bring up the standalone Docker container with RESTMon. And the one that we're going to use to work today is the Helm folder that contains the Helm application that we're going to deploy in the OpenShift cluster. You can also use the Helm application to deploy DX RESTMon on any cloud platform like Google Kubernetes Engine. So here's a first step. Let's load the RESTMon image. I have already done this in all the worker nodes of my cluster. And now we can proceed to launch the Helm install command that will deploy DX RESTMon in my OpenShift cluster. So as you can see, it contains several parameters. We can specify a different port. We can specify also what kind of service type we want to use to expose DX RESTMon. In this case, we're going to choose a node port. And it can leverage different persistent volumes. In this case, we're going to use NFS as a storage, right? So we need to specify the storage path and also the NFS server. And additionally, we need to provide the tenant details and the ingestion token. And finally, the namespace where I want to deploy the DX RESTMon. So let's go ahead and launch the Helm install. As we can see, we have the application being deployed. And if I check in my project, I can see that Helm has deployed a deployment, a replica set, a pod, and a service of type node port. As you can see, OpenShift has chosen the best worker node where to deploy the DX RESTMon pod. And it is already up and running. We can also check the logs and see that it has already started. So now we just need to get the port where the RESTMon is being exposed and access to the UI. In this case, we can see here the port where it's being exposed this service. So I just need to go to this URL, RESTMon API Swagger UI, and access using the default credentials. And there we go. We have now full access to the UI from where we can manage the profiles, schemas, and other configuration details of DX RESTMon.